Hey, what's up guys, Steven here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna revisit the Huawei P40 Lite after 6 months. So it's now December and the price of the P40 Lite dropped to almost 200 euros, which is a really cheap price for a smartphone. But can a smartphone without Google mobile services be a really good budget smartphone? Today we're gonna find it out. The P40 Lite comes in a really nice, sleek and slim design, as you can see, with the quad camera here on the back. Now it comes with a 6.4-inch LCD display at 60 Hz. The maximum brightness is around about 460 nits, so it's quite an average LCD display, but it's looking really good. Also inside of the display there's a selfie camera in the punch hole design in the left top corner, as you can see. At the bottom we have the Type-C port, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is missing on most of the flagship Huawei products. Then there's also a fingerprint scanner included in the power button here on the right side of the frame. There is no in-display fingerprint scanner because, well, it's a budget phone, but I think it's quite okay and the fingerprint scanner works really fast and reliable. The battery is really where Huawei shines. The P40 Lite comes with a 4200 mAh battery, and this is enough for at least 1 day of usage. So I usually get 1.5 days of usage, but depending on your usage, you can get up to 2 days. Now, if you need to recharge it, it also comes with Huawei Supercharge and the 40-watt Supercharge. That means you can recharge the battery from 0 to 70% in only around about 30 minutes. The phone comes with Android 10, but without Google mobile services. On top of Android 10, there's Huawei's own skin, it's called EMUI 10. I will show you in some new videos this week how to install the Google mobile services or how to install apps in general on the P40 Lite, so stay tuned for that. You can also expand the internal memory by using NM cards. They are Huawei proprietary, that means you can only use Huawei NM cards to expand the storage, no microSD cards. But yeah, at least you have the option to. Now let's talk about performance. Inside of the P40 Lite we have the Kirin A10 chipset and 6 GB of RAM. It's a mid-range chipset, not a high-end chipset, but it performs really good. Now all the latest 3D games, they work without a problem as long as they don't require Google mobile services. And also the thermal performance during gaming is really good and the phone doesn't heat up a lot. So the P40 Lite is a great mid-range smartphone if you need some good performance and good battery life. But what about the camera? Now we have a quad camera system here on the back of the phone and a single front-facing camera in the front of the phone. The daylight performance is really good. We have accurate colors, we have great dynamic range, and also we have some really good details. So the P40 Lite is really a great smartphone in terms of battery life and also performance. But what about the cameras? And I think it's better to show you some pictures instead of talking too much about the specifications. But there are a few things I want to highlight. Now the P40 Lite, it's a 200 euro smartphone, but it comes with a Pro mode. Even though you cannot afford maybe a high-end smartphone, with the Pro mode you can really get the most out of your hardware, and that's really amazing. Also the 48 megapixel sensor, it's really quite huge and you can shoot some really crisp and clear pictures under daylight conditions. As soon as you switch to the wide-angle camera, the wide-angle camera is really something for me that I use quite often. It's very good under daylight conditions. For sure under daylight conditions the colors are a bit washed out, but as soon as you take the wide-angle camera and you go into a night scene, well, it gets very dark. But nevertheless, for 200 euro, the P40 Lite packs really a great all-round camera system, and we'll now show you some pictures so you can judge for yourself. So guys, here's a quick full HD front-facing camera recording test on the Huawei P40 Lite. And well, check this out guys. So it looks like exposure is pretty okay. Dynamic range, well, it's also looking good. The focus is nice, as you can see, and well, yeah, that's the front-facing camera here on the Huawei P40 Lite. So guys, here's a quick video comparison between the P40 Lite and the P Smart, and both can only maximum record in 1080p, and yeah, due to the chipset, because it doesn't support 4K recording. And check out the differences here in the color on both phones, also the exposure, and it seems like the quality of the video, at least on the screen, looks actually better on the P40 Lite, especially here right now. Let's focus on the back of the car, and as you can see, the dynamic range, the colors on the P Smart, everything looks kind of darker and a little bit blurry, while it looks sharper and actually better on the P40 Lite. But let me know what you see right now on the screen. Then here it's also a nice test for the camera, and as you can see, we have here lots of whites. So check out the back in the clouds, where it's like very foggy on the top, if you can spot some differences, some details here on the street. Then maybe let's check out some close-ups right over here on the car. And there we go. So especially in the rear light, as you can see in the tail light, it looks actually more detailed on the P40 Lite, and also the dynamic range, as you can see, looks definitely better. Other than that, both phones, as said, feature only 1080p video recording maximum. So for a budget smartphone, the P40 Lite takes actually some really nice pictures, but what about videos? And in the video department, it really lags a little bit behind. There is no 4K recording on the smartphone, as the Kirin A10 chipset doesn't support it. So that's the only disadvantage for me as a YouTuber. I use my smartphone all the time to record videos, or especially for TikTok, and 4K really helps here. But due to the chipset limitations, you're stuck with 1080p on the Huawei P40 Lite. So that was a quick overview, and now I would say let's have a closer look at the P40 Lite, and I'll show you the user interface and also how to install apps on the P40 Lite. So let's go. Alrighty guys, so let me quickly show you the Huawei P40 Lite user interface and how it looks like. So as you can see, it is still running Android, but the skin on top is called EMUI. So we have here Android 10, we have EMUI 10 currently, and yeah, there should also be an update to EMUI 11, so we can quickly check for the update, and there we go. Alright guys, now a quick walkthrough through the user interface. We have here EMUI 10.0.1 based, actually there's an update to 10.1 based on Android 10. So this phone still runs Android, because some people say no, there is no Android on the phone. This is actually not true, there is Android on the phone, but if you check it out right over here, it comes without the Google mobile services, and the skin on top is the so-called EMUI, so the Emotion UI. Now we have the Kirin A10, as mentioned before, 6 GB of RAM and a resolution of 2310 x 1080 pixels. Yeah, let's go back and let me quickly show you the user interface. So the phone is actually quite snappy for a 200 € phone. This is actually pretty good, as you can see. So no lags in there, a bit slower than on the P40 or P40 Pro, of course, but still this mid-range chipset is doing quite good. There's a so-called Huawei Assistant today. This is basically some kind of news feed. So I cleaned it now. As you can see, this is how it looks like. So you have your latest news in there. Now, what is new on Huawei? It's so-called pedal search. If you don't update, so with the latest updates, there's pedal search on all the devices. But if you don't have it, you go to the Huawei app gallery, you search for pedal search, and you're gonna install this. This is an application which helps you to install applications on Huawei, because there is no Google Play Store. There's just the Huawei app gallery, which is growing and expanding, but not all the apps are available in the app gallery yet. So as you can see, there are a lot of big apps already. So banking, local ads, Tinder, Among Us wallpaper, whatever. You have many options of apps, but some apps you can only get if you use the app gallery, which then also uses, for instance, APK Pure as sources. Looks like this. So you open the pedal search app or the widget, and then you have here the search, and there you go. And then you just search for the app. Let's say we want to download PUBG, and there we go. Then it says here, just install from the official website, or we're gonna just try the Facebook Messenger. Let's try Facebook. Facebook, you go to install, and as you can see, it will just simply install from the official website. So it also makes sure that you download from trusted sources and not somewhere from the internet where you could probably get some apps that are not 100% clean. So pedal search at least is a way that makes it really easy to install apps, even if you cannot find them. Alrighty guys, so yeah, that's how you get apps on the P40 Lite. Overall, I have to say, yeah, it is really a good smartphone, kind of smooth. You have all the things in the status bar, like also screen recorder built in. We have Huawei Share, wireless projection, NFC is enabled in the phone. Well, for payments, as Google Pay is not working on the phone, that is for sure an issue, but it depends on how often you use it. Then the fingerprint scanner I want to show you as well. So you have face recognition, which is using the front-facing camera, or you can just set up the fingerprint. So I'll quickly enter here my PIN. And let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there we go. Now you can also use the fingerprint to access the safe, for instance, to save some pictures. And you just place your finger here on the fingerprint scanner in the power button, and it's very easy and convenient to unlock your phone. The fingerprint scanner, it feels good, of course, because it's in a physical button, but I'm so used now to in-display fingerprint scanners, so I prefer them much more. But anyhow, the fingerprint scanner, you notice that it's kind of faster than some in-display fingerprint scanners, and this is at least something that's really good. So let's continue with this, and there we go. And now we're gonna see how fast the fingerprint scanner is. So when you're at the black screen, then as you can see, it unlocks actually really fast. So you just lock it, it's locked, boom, simply tap it and it unlocks. So the fingerprint is working really good on the smartphone, but also face recognition. It's not as good like on the P40 Pro series, but still it's working really fine. I will soon come up with a tutorial on how to install Google mobile services on the P40 Lite with Google Fire. There's already a video on my channel, so make sure to check it out, and I'll bring you an update video on this one here very soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's the user interface on the P40 Lite. So guys, as you can see, the picture is actually quite clear and clean. We have a maximum brightness of 460 nits, and the speaker has really good high and mid frequencies. The lower frequencies, of course, because of the size of the smartphone, are not that overwhelming, but yeah, it's getting the job done. Maximum brightness. So guys, this is currently maximum volume, and as I listen here right now, the mids and highs, they sound really clean and clear. But well, the low tones, they could be better, but this is because of the size and the form factor of the smartphone. Anyhow, for €200, a quite okay speaker. Alright guys, so that's it. That was my quick review of the Huawei P40 Lite after 6 months. So far I'm still using it as a backup phone when I travel. I mean, the camera is quite decent, you can get some good shots. The only thing that lags behind a bit is that there is no 4K video recording, but if you more take pictures than videos, it's actually still quite good. And yeah, the battery life is simply amazing. This is also why I use it for my travels. 2 days of battery life easily, huge battery. You can also quickly recharge it. And yeah, it's a good phone overall for €200 right now. This is a real killer price. So make sure to check it out, links down below. I will soon come up with a tutorial on how to install apps on P40 Lite next week, so stay tuned for that. And as always guys, I'm Steven from Tech Magnet and I'm signing out. Bye.